what's up, Eric? It's Justin. Doing a response video here for your 3,000 subscriber collaboration for the Death Twitch show. So, I did want to start out with your legal requirements. You said I am giving you, Eric Harrison, my permission to use any and all footage from this video, my image, my likeness, my sound, any sounds, or my voice, whatever you want to use this for. You have my permission to do so for your editing purposes. If you want to include it in your video, that's fine with me. So hopefully that takes care of that. So your questions were, what is your favorite horror movie? I do want to give a couple honorable mentions before I share my favorite horror movie. First one is right here, The Lost Boys. It's actually my favorite movie for just any kind of movie. But I really don't consider it straight up horror, so that's why I'm not really, including in my favorite horror movie, because there is a lot of different elements in that movie. It's there's some comedy in it. Definitely it's very 80s with the music and everything and the atmosphere. It has a great soundtrack. It's a lot of good music in it. But definitely that's my kind of vampire movie, not Twilight. I like the classic, vampire lore where they actually burn in sunlight, not sparkle. So yeah. And it's not that gruesome either, really. Just besides the one scene where they do take Michael out and feast on the punks. That scene is pretty intense. And, a couple of the vampires dying at the end. The death by stereo, where he basically blows up. And also the one that gets knocked in the tub with, where the holy water's at. He ends up looking like Freddy Krueger and beyond, with skin like melting off and stuff. That's kind of intense. But other than that, it's not that bad really. And so yeah, I don't really consider it a straight up horror movie. So that's one. My first honorable mention. My second one, so I know this is one of your favorites too, Halloween. This is the original, of course. You can't beat it, the music is really what gets you, I think. But yeah, I actually like 1 through, I'd say 5. 5 probably not being as great as 4, but I still kind of dig it. It was still, to me, professionally done and still felt like Halloween. I think when Dimension took over, because before that was like CBS Fox or whatever, but when Dimension Films took over, which they did in Part 6, the quality went downhill. Just everything. It just didn't feel right. They didn't get Michael right, how he looked. His mask was all weird. The hair on the mask was all funked out. He just didn't look right. And I'd say even the same for the ones after that. Even H2O. They did attempt. Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. H2O, I'm gonna say it's okay, but it still didn't. Again, the mask was off, and even the guy playing Michael was off. It just didn't feel right. And of course, Resurrection, that was a bigger disaster. But yeah, to me, I can pick up 1 through 5 any day and watch them, and enjoy it. Get some popcorn, like you said, a popcorn movie, and you're good to go. And so while we're talking about since we're right here talking about Halloween, I'll go ahead and address the Halloween Returns project. Now, hey, if they can make a good one, sure, I'm all for it. But, you know, how many have we done now? I mean, I didn't even mention Rob Zombies because, to tell you the truth, I didn't even watch them. I didn't waste my time. I've seen the previews. I've seen um, the behind the scenes, and I'm not a Rob Zombie fan. I didn't like his take on it, and yeah, and just watching other reviews, it's like, yeah, that's not that's something I can do without, I guess. So if they could, pick up the story from the original timeline and come up with a decent script, get some good character development in there, and competently make it. I mean, yes, have the music, have the Halloween music in there. That's just like, Terminator. You got to have that Terminator music if you're going to do a Terminator film. Same thing with Halloween. It's got to have that feel to it. So, I mean, it's from what I've heard, like you said, they're going to wait until the fall to start shooting it, so it has a feel. That's, a good thing. That's a positive thing. It's like at least they're showing they're, caring about it and going to put some effort into it and not just, put it together and let's just shoot it right now and who cares when time it is and all that. So yeah, maybe it can be promising. Who knows? But if they will, competently do it, and like I said, I don't know if Dimension Films still owns the rights, but if they do, hopefully it's competently made and not like Part 6 and the ones beyond after that, because they're just not even enjoyable for me to watch. Okay, so enough of that. So my favorite horror movie. Well, if you can't tell by these awesome 3D glasses I'm wearing, then this here says it all. The iconic hockey mask, worn by none other than Jason Voorhees. And of course, my favorite in the series is Part 3. Now that might surprise a lot of people because they're like, that was a gimmick, the 3D thing, and it was the whole disco music theme and parts of it. But I like it for different reasons, I mean, to me, actually, Part 3 is where the series took off. I mean, yes, Part 1 and 2, they were decent. 1 was starting out, his mother was the killer, right? Yeah, I like Part 1 and 2. I mean, I just don't dig the potato sack for Part 2. And also the guy that played Jason, physically he actually was not that big in stature. He was, I would say, the smallest guy that played Jason, compared to the rest of the guys that played him afterwards. And Richard Brooker played Jason in Part 3. Sadly he's no longer with us, but he was a bigger, taller guy, and I think that was the right look for him. But like I said, in Part 3, he does get the hockey mask for the first time from our good friend Shelley. So if Shelley didn't bring that mask with him and his bag of tricks, who knows what Jason would have wore, right? But yeah, Part 3, I think it has good cinematography. I mean, that opening shot, if you've seen the behind the scenes, they talk about it, the opening shot where they pan down into the store. I mean, that they had to put that on a rig, and that was, I appreciate stuff like that, what I mean? It's like, back then they didn't have just CGI where they could just throw a whole bunch of CGI in there and make it look good or whatever. I mean, they had to actually work for a living back then, right? But yeah, I think it had good cinematography, good atmosphere. The setting there, the cabin, close to the lake, and the barn, especially the barn added a level of creepiness because it seemed like Jason was hiding out in the barn for a while. I mean, he killed the 3 bikers there. He got killed, of course, Shelley there. So yeah, the barn is basically where he got the mask from, Shelley. So, and again, I think it had good character development. It did show enough to where you got a feel for the characters, and especially the reason I like it so much is because that I'm going to say the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie to where Chris is alone. She's the last one. When he throws Rick through that window, and it's on. He's coming after her. He throws Rick through the window. You first see Jason there in the mask, wearing the hockey or with the axe in his hand, coming through the window. I mean, that's pretty badass. And what was even better though is her courage to fight back. I mean, she just didn't try to run away. I mean, she was taking him on. You know what I mean? She was fighting back. She threw the books on him from up above. She stabbed him in the hand when he was trying to get in the door. Then comes out of the closet swinging the knife at him, and he's backing up trying to dodge and stuff. She looked like a wild woman, on a mission with that knife. And she gets him in the knee or the thigh there and the leg, and then she goes out the window. He does grab her, but her coat rips, so she gets away again. And especially at that point, you're like, okay, she's running for the van now. But no, what does she do? She goes around the back door and grabs a freaking log and waits for him to come out the door and whacks him on the back of the head with the log. I mean, it's like, dang, this woman's pretty badass, She ain't taking this lying down. And then she goes for the van, but of course, the bikers took the gas, and she runs out. And like I said, this is like the chase. It's like, man, it's I'm going to say maybe 10 minutes at last where he's after her. It's just intense, I think. It goes from the house to the outside to the van. The bridge sinks, or the van sinks down in the bridge, so then she goes to the barn, hiding from him, and then lands on him, and then she ends up in the loft and whacks him on the back of the head again with a shovel this time. Then puts the rope around his neck and hangs his ass. So I'm impressed. I like Chris. She's like taking Jason on. It made you feel like rooting for her. And but I will say this, if it wasn't for the biker guy, because pretty much, when Jason pulls up on the rope and he ain't dead, and reveals his face, and she sees that he was the guy who attacked her like 2 years ago. And he gets his feet down on the floor. He's pretty much, you're like, he's got her now. Well, now what? But the biker guy comes out of nowhere and tries to attack Jason. Of course, Jason, chops him into pieces. But that did allow Chris the time to find the axe there. That was handy, and the rest. She takes the axe to his head, and that was the end of it, temporarily. And of course, that axe going to his head, was in the top part of the mask here, and that axe damage stayed, in the movies from that point on. It was always that big slash in the top part of the mask. So, yeah, I mean, and she, finally for that, temporarily, she took care of him. And this also, even after that, the dream sequence of where she's out in the canoe, then you did see the effect. She did a good job, that actress, because she, you saw the effects that night had on her as she's driving away, as they're driving away in the police car. She's like losing it, flipping out, and like a crazy person, which you can't blame her for what she went through. So yeah, Friday the 13th Part 3, I really dig it. I do actually like Part 4 also, really good. I mean, I even like up to Part 6 real good. 7's not bad. That's seven's like the last one that I can enjoy watching. I can't enjoy 8 where it takes Manhattan. I just can't. I mean I have it, but it's yeah, you know about that one. But yeah, I 1 through 6, and I'll accept 7 too. But even though 6 and 7, was 6 was the start of zombie Jason, where he's basically walking. You know, he doesn't run like he did in the earlier ones. That's what I liked about 3. Well, 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 4 is he's human. He runs. He's chasing. He does bleed. He feels pain. And not like an unstoppable zombie like in part 6. Even though I do enjoy part 6, it does have a special place too, because it was good to get Jason back. But yeah, I do like the ones where he's more human better. So the next question now to answer for you is you asked why I like horror movies and why I think society does. Well, the reason I do is the same that I think society does. And the reason is it gets you away from your daily grind. Your daily, weekly, monthly concerns. If you put yourself in the situation of the characters, like in Friday the 13th, Part 3. Like Chris, it's basically survival horror. You're trying to get through this night alive. You're not worried about, well, gee, did I pay my credit card bill on time last month? Or, when's the next time I need to get an oil change in my car? Those thoughts are the furthest thing from your mind. You're worried about trying to get through this night with your life, so it's like a rush, adrenaline rush, where it's like kill or be killed. You're either gonna survive this night and take them down, or they're gonna get you. So, and that's why I like the slasher genre, like Friday the 13th and Halloween, is because, it's a mass maniac after you, and to me that's. Survival horror is what I like. Unlike, today, some of the more recent movies like the Saw movies, those to me don't appeal. I don't see anything scary. They're gory. Yeah, it's gore, but I don't call it horror. I don't call it scary. It's like, okay, we got to figure out this contraption, this device. I don't know. That's just not me. Don't really appeal to me. But yeah, so that's what I think that why I like and I think society likes horror movies is because it allows us to escape our daily grind and routine for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Grab a soda, grab a popcorn, or grab some popcorn, and sit back and not think about too much and just enjoy the show. So I hope I answered all your questions there. I did want to say that excuse me, we gotta get a drink here. Drinking iced tea, unsweetened. I get a little parched there talking too much, but yeah. I hope I answered your questions. I did want to say though, I've only been watching you for about a couple months, Eric. Your show, The Death Twitch, but it didn't take me long before I was hooked and became a fan. So I did want to, give you a thanks, and for all the work that you do, the effort you put into your videos. You can definitely tell they're very. You do put some time and effort into it, and the editing, and they're enjoyable to watch and fun. I've found myself laughing quite a bit, even watching them, rewinding or going back a little bit and watching it over again because it's good to laugh. So anyways, so yeah, thanks for the work and effort you do. We appreciate it. So I hope this video helps you out. Like I said, you're welcome to use any footage, if you want to make a clip, be my guest. And I'll look forward to watching more of your videos in the future. So until next time, man, have a good one. Let's see if this mask fits here, huh? I don't have much hair like Jason, so how's that look? Does it look a little bit like him? Alright, man. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.